Does it end with a lightning hands mustache man yelling video game level dialogue?
And I believe in love.
Then I will destroy you!
Also yes.
Oh, buddy. Okay, guys. Woo! Let's get this on with honest trailers, baby. What up, guys? Red Nation in the house. Akasan here, getting ready for that Tokyo game show with the Trinity, actually. We're all getting together on this one, reuniting, because it feels so good. By the way, make sure you check out some of the VR videos I just did with the different type of alternative Trinity this time around. World's Finest Together with Abigail. Some really cool stuff. I think you would like it. We're getting ready. Google is pressuring me. They're pressuring me. Consulting, being their consultant for VR. Anyways, Wonder Woman. Now, I might have mentioned this before, but Wonder Woman just came out a little while ago, August 25th over here. I saw it on base months ago. I don't think I really saw it properly because I didn't really leave with the same enthusiasm and interest that other people thought. I just, because of the sound and the picture quality, maybe, I was just focusing only on the story. And the story itself was alright. It was okay. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't horrible. And I think that's a win-win for the DCEU. But I still understand and recognize how important that movie was for the culture of women, just for women in general. I just hope people remember that when Black Panther comes out as well. Just something to keep in mind. I was going to see it again when it came out so I could watch it properly. Unfortunately, it came out right around the same time I went to America, which that movie was not available anymore. Then we came back, and my girlfriend is now out of town. No connection to my previous videos, but she's out of town. So I don't know. We're gonna try to catch it. I just wish IMAX had like a cheaper day or something like that to watch a movie, because like I was really thinking about it. I'm like, am I really about to drop $25, $30 something on a ticket for a movie I've already watched once again, when I could actually just watch it at home at this point? I'm talking about Wonder Woman, the Blu-ray and such. Same thing with Dunkirk. I wanted to watch it in IMAX properly, but I don't know, man. I'm thinking about it. Like, it's kind of expensive. I'd rather save up for a VR headset. Let me think about it. But all that being said, like I said, it's still good to finally have a Wonder Woman movie and have Wonder Woman cemented in the ethos of superhero comic book fandom movies, superhero CBMs, and that's it. I'm rambling at this point. So let's see what honest trailers, how they're gonna tear it apart. I hope, Screen Junkies, don't pull any punches, man. I'm counting on you guys, because I feel there are a lot of things you could have talked about, but as I mentioned before, it's almost like career suicide to say anything remotely bad about this movie. Let's see how Screen Junkies handles it. And it's all women.
Today's episode is brought to you by M&M's Caramel Chocolate Candies.
This does not bode well. Let's see.
From the studio, known for confusing length with depth, complexity with intelligence, and self-absorbed downers with heroism, the DCEU pulls off its biggest success yet by not doing those things.
Yeah, that's good.
Wonder Woman.
Nice.
After Supergirl, Catwoman, and Elektra, studios doubted a female-led superhero movie could succeed. Now, Patty Jenkins bravely asks the question, what if a female-led superhero movie wasn't absolute garbage from beginning to end, and had a powerful message for girls?
Yeah.
Save the world, look flawless doing it, be a literal god, then men might begrudgingly half tolerate your presence.
So, if this woman can read it, we should hear what she has to say.
Yes, very well. Woohoo! Progress! Settle in for an origin story about the Greek gods.
That was dope.
Inside an origin story for Wonder Woman. Inside an origin story for World War II.
The armistice is of paramount importance.
And visit Themyscira, Themyscira.
What?
Visit Xena, Warrior Island.
Yes.
A society of women trained from birth to cover
Yep.
Gal Gadot's accent.
In the event of an invasion.
This belonged to the greatest warrior in our history.
You need to tell us now.
Yes, but Ares is behind that corruption.
These Amazons have been preparing their whole lives to fight the god of war, Ares. And you can bet that when war reaches their shores, they'll get wrecked by German teams with bolt-action rifles.
Did he just say rape or ripped?
Maybe send out a scout once every 500 years, or at least deploy some of your invisible jets. I know you have them. Meet Diana, a girl never actually referred to as Wonder Woman. She's the hero the DCEU doesn't deserve, but sure as hell needs right now.
Yep.
She's optimistic, confident, iron-willed, vulnerable, uncompromising, and just so hot.
Yep.
I can say that, right? I mean, I don't want to come off like James Cameron, because it's definitely not the only thing she's got going for, but damn, she's stronger, faster, and smarter than the men around her. But every superhero has a kryptonite, and hers is not knowing jack about anything.
War. What war?
It's a watch till time.
Yeah.
What for?
Why are they holding hands? What do these women wear into battle? Does the average man not sleep?
What is a secretary? At the front?
Wait, front of what? Marriage?
You speak 100 languages. You know what marriage means. Experience this groundbreaking superhero movie, but not so groundbreaking that they didn't put one of the bankable Hollywood Chris's in it. Chris Pratt surprises and delights in a performance that gives him his first lead in the great Hollywood Chris-off. But he's more than just eye candy. He's Diana's emotional support, a voice of caution, and a love interest in constant need of rescue. Hey, they gave him the role women always have to play against the male superheroes, didn't they? I see what you did there. In a film with two grounded, complex leads, cringe at villains pulled from a different, much campier movie.
The mask won't help.
They don't know that.
That seems to forget the Germans in World War I were not the Nazis.
One of the good guys, and those are the bad guys.
Seriously expects us to buy this human milk thistle as the god of war, and implies
Terrible.
that Wonder Woman kept her head down for all of Hitler and Stalin. But did suit up the moment Lex Luthor made a Ninja Turtle. You know what? I'm sorry for even bringing BVS into this. Let's just let this one stand on its own.
Good
So
idea.
get ready for a film about balancing the good and bad in all of us, that contains good and bad within itself, in this flawed but important movie that's
Thank
no
you.
less important for having flaws. Is it an inspirational, well-made film that finally gives women a superhero to be proud of? Yes.
Yeah.
Does it end with a lightning hands mustache man yelling video game level dialogue?
And I believe in love.
Then I will destroy you!
Also yes. Starring Amazon Prime.
Oh, fuck.
Want to touch the piney. Also the Queen and Gladiator. Princess Cutter-Up. Oh, party boy. Would you, apologies. A drunk Scotsman. A sneaky Frenchman. A wise old Indian guide. What are these guys? The
Yep.
Howland stereotypes?
Yep.
Pam Beasley. Dawn Tinsley. Dun, 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 dun.
That's fucked up.
And Snyder Vision.
Yep.
A Justice League of her own.
Maybe you're better off without me, yeah?
Yep.
No, Charlie. Who will sing for us?
Your friend clearly has PTSD.
Don't go in there!
Let him go home. Thanks again to
Good idea,
Careful
good point.
Chocolate Cake
Very
for
good
sponsoring
point.
today's
All right.
episode. Could this
Oh,
be any-
fuck. All right, good. Perfectly well crafted. That was actually done very well. Thank you, Screen Junkies. Fucking finally, somebody. Like, I guess if there was ever gonna be somebody to talk about it, Screen Junkies basically, as I said already previously, Screen Junkies said almost exactly everything that I wanted to say, or that I have said about Wonder Woman, and the fact that it's a good but flawed movie. But a flawed but important movie. Something that, and there was something I think I mentioned before or so, was the fact that take away the DC-ness of it, because I think people hold DC characters to a higher standard than Marvel characters, just because there's so many iterations of Marvel characters. It's easier to pick and choose or whatever, right? And Marvel characters are flawed characters, where most DC characters are literal gods in some sense, and icons. The status of an icon, and so. Anyways, the point I was making here was the fact that I don't even remember. Fuck! I got off on a tangent. I was thinking about something else. Was the fact that if you just take Wonder Woman, if you just take away all the characters and the reputation behind it, and if this was a Marvel movie, people would have said it would have been one of the weakest movies. If this was a Phase 1 Marvel movie, it would have been okay. If this was like the Phase 3 or what, Phase 4 or whatever, people would have been like, damn, this was pretty weak, Marvel. What the fuck you doing? Like, let's just say this was the Miss Marvel, which I think they're kind of doing a similar periodic piece for Miss Marvel. Or Captain Marvel. But if this was a Marvel movie, everybody would hold it at this point, would have been like, you know, this isn't that great. But because of the fact that in the DCEU, which has some pretty disappointing results critically, regardless of what some fans would think, critically, the DCEU has been pretty weak. Wonder Woman was a breath of fresh air to finally go to really do well, but it is flawed. But the thing is, at least similar to Captain America, which I think Captain America was a better origin story, but similar to Captain America, can only get better in time. Like, I would love to see, and I don't know why, Screen Junkies kind of mentioned that Wonder Woman was asleep or was ignoring World War II and all that, but I don't think so. I think she still gets involved again, because I actually don't see her, she didn't retire being Wonder Woman at that point, so I think something happens in World War II or something that's going to really make her, I want to see, make her give up being Wonder Woman that leads into BVS. But I want to see, what I really want to see is the Winter Soldier level of Wonder Woman for Wonder Woman 2. That's what I would love to see. I want to see some, like, a really solid story. Gal? Man, it's like career suicide to talk bad about Gal at this point. But I think the Wonder Woman we saw in this movie, and I've had this talk with the Red Nation several times here when I first saw this movie, because it was a different type of Wonder Woman than I was used to. I was looking for kind of more Xena than very soft. And I thought she did, I think they catered the Wonder Woman role to her acting ability. She's really, really easy on the eyes, and I like that fact that they said something about James Cameron, because you're just like, wait, is that okay? Can I say that? Is it all right? Really, really easy on the eyes. Really nice. I just hope that in the coming up sequels, that we will see more of the aggressive, bitter type of Wonder Woman. The one that kind of has a little more of a chip on her shoulder, or a little more defensive about certain things. We saw a good amount of that in BVS, actually. That's a good thing about Zack Snyder. Always making their characters dark. But I would hope that we see a little bit more, because the Wonder Woman in this movie wasn't necessarily the one I was hoping for, but I believe that in time that it could, she could grow into more of a, you know, like, I guess my biggest thing about it was on Themyscira. No, I can't pronounce it. Themyscira. We see a group of strong women really aggressive women, really powerful fighters, doing some good shit. And even young Diana was kind of badass and everything. I was like, yeah, dude, I was getting into this. But then came that trial with actual Gal, and she's fighting all these women, and it was just, for me personally, it just wasn't that believable anymore. I was like, she really doesn't really look like the person that would be the strongest out of all these champions, because a lot of them were doing a lot more. That's kind of what kind of threw me off a bit, was I was like, okay, I don't really see this hard, like, you're supposed to be the best out of all of them, but it didn't really, it kind of slid through that trial pretty easily, so to speak. So, I know, but you know, I don't want to overanalyze it too much. It is what it is, and we have our different formats of Wonder Woman to enjoy, whether it be the animated series, the movie, or my personal favorites, the comics, and Justice League Unlimited, baby. Anyways, let's see what's up with Wonder Woman and Justice League coming up in November, right? I am working with Justice League here. They just called me yesterday over here in Japan, so stay tuned for that, because I can't really say much of what's going on, but it'll be really fun. Trust me. Make sure you are following me on Twitter and Instagram and all that other social media, because we're going to have a lot of cool stuff coming up in November. Unite the Seven. Alright, Red Red Nation, stand up, speak up. Let me know what you guys thought about this. I think Screen Junkies nailed it so well. So well. That fight scene with Ares. Oh my god. But you know what? Almost every other CBM as of now, it's always that third act, man. Always that third act. But Snyder Vision, baby. Definitely Snyder Vision. I'm out, guys. Peace.